The BMF Season 4 finale premiered on August 15th, and wow, this episode was absolutely packed with tension, multi-layered betrayals, and bloody reckonings that brought an end to some of the show's most critical characters. Before we dive in, spoiler warning, if you haven't watched the finale yet, this is your chance to click away. From the anarchy of Thomas Square to that intense Mexico flashback and the tight-lipped arrest outside the Platinum Palace, this episode raised serious questions about loyalty, morality, and that fine line between survival and destruction. How Meech got arrested. So towards the end of episode 10, Meech's arrest was triggered by an accidental fight inside the Platinum Palace nightclub. During this intense altercation, Meech used a bottle to hit an adversary, resulting in a fatality that the police considered a prosecutable crime, whether it was intentional or not. Detective Bryant, who's now commanding the task force against Meech, took advantage of this opportunity to arrest him, using both the evidence and his personal grudge. This moment served as a major turning point for Meech's empire and showed us how one misstep in the drug game can completely unravel years of strategic power plays. How B-Mickie met his end. B-Mickie's arc had been heating up toward a breaking point all season, and in episode 10, everything finally came to a boiling point. His disappointment with both Meech and Terry, combined with his hunger for power, led him down a dangerous path. He made a fatal mistake when he openly trusted Hoop with his plan to hijack BMF. What B-Mickie didn't realize was that Hoop was completely loyal to the Flenory brothers and would report this treachery directly back to them. When Lamar showed up with Aisha, that intended sting at Thomas Square was quickly dismantled, escalating into a fatal firefight. During the chaos, B-Mickie managed to take out Lamar, but this action only served to destroy trust without changing his destiny. Everything came to an end when Detective Bryant made a hasty appearance and shot B-Mickie before he could reach Aisha. This wasn't a neat conclusion or dignified farewell. It was the messy, inevitable result of a character torn between ambition, treachery, and emotional baggage. His death not only removed a volatile piece from the board, but also highlighted how personal grudges in the drug world can so easily spiral into irreversible consequences. B-Mickie's final moments served as a harsh reminder that power struggles within BMF tend to end in tragedy rather than triumph. The Mexico flashback that changed everything. The Mexico flashback in the season finale wasn't just backstory filler. It was an emotional fault line that set up Meech and Terry's growing divide. In that critical moment, while heavy bullets were flying, Terry caught a helicopter out, but Meech stayed behind to try and save Loco, their all-important plug. For Meech, saving the plug wasn't up for discussion. It was a survival rule in the game that guaranteed a steady supply of power. For Terry, the calculation was completely different. He believed family came first, even if it meant breaking the unwritten code of their company. That decision wasn't about survival, it was about identity. Terry saw Meech as prioritizing business associates over his own brother, while Meech interpreted Terry's choice as selfishness and a breach of the company's code. In the present-day timeline of episode 10, those bottled-up resentments finally boiled over. Terry made no secret of his intentions to split their ventures, even relocating to California with Marquisha. Meanwhile, Meech accused Terry of sabotaging him further by allowing B-Mickie back into the crew without his approval. The consequences of that Mexico incident hung over every decision they made in the finale. This rewrote the brothers' dynamic completely. They went from being a cohesive unit to two side-by-side bosses with fundamentally different definitions of what loyalty means. That emotional rift, rather than the bullets or business setbacks, became the season's deepest wound. Was Meech's arrest inevitable? The Platinum Palace scene created a tension that felt less like a climactic shootout and more like a creeping trap finally snapping shut. Meech wasn't brought down by some clever sting operation or deliberate betrayal. It was pure anarchy. A club fight spiraled out of control, and in the chaos, Meech hit someone with a bottle, causing it to slice open the person's neck. Even though it was accidental, this incident gave Detective Bryant exactly what he'd been looking for. By this point, Bryant had been promoted to command the task force, and his grudge against BMF had become both personal and professional. His alliance with Officer Mike Taylor only intensified the pressure building around Meech. The arrest outside the club wasn't presented as the end of Meech's story. He declares that his American dream is far from over. However, this event reinforced a major theme running through Season 4. The most dangerous moments often come when you're completely off guard. We're left with this symbolic image of Meech surrounded and caught out in the open, his empire completely exposed. Those handcuffs weren't about guilt, they were about inevitability. And with him about to become a father, this makes everything even more complicated. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown of the BMF Season 4 finale, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content.